They always believe the story ends with the killing blow. The sword strikes true, the beast falls, the world is saved, and the credits roll, but it doesn't end there. It never does. When the fire dies, you're left with silence. A silence so deep it hums in your bones. And the smell of burning scales and blood and ash, it clings to you long after the world forgets your name. I am, or was, the last Archon of the Ember Circle. A scholar, a seeker of the ancient flame. We studied magic, not for conquest, but for understanding. We believed if we could learn the tongue of the elements, we could speak to the world itself. We were wrong. The world does not speak, it screams. When the first dragons came, they weren't monsters, they were gods. Vast, thinking storms of light and fury. And like all gods, we tried to chain them. I helped build the first runes of binding. I carved words into stone that I barely understood. And when the heavens opened and fire rained down, I realized what we had done. We hadn't chained the dragon, we'd woken it. They called it the Devourer of Dawn, a name for a thing that consumed light itself. When it rose, the horizon turned to glass. Cities burned before the sun could rise, and I watched from the high towers of Velithor as my students turned to ash. Their screams still echo in the circuits of my memory. I was the one who said, "I can stop it." Arrogance disguised as courage. I spent 40 years chasing that lie. I bled for it. I burned for it. I forgot what my own voice sounded like. But I found a way, an old magic, older than the world. Not cast with words, but with will. The kind of spell that doesn't end when you stop breathing. It took everything, my soul, my memories, even my shadow. When I woke, centuries had passed. The world was quiet again. No dragons, no kingdoms, just ruins and ghosts. And me, I thought I'd won, until I heard it again. The heartbeat beneath the earth. Slow, ancient, familiar. The dragon never died. It slept. And so did I. Now, when I close my eyes, I see it. Not as a beast but as fire given thought. It dreams in color and hunger. It remembers me, and I remember it. I've begun to wonder if the dragon was ever separate from me at all. If every spell I cast, every life I took, every sacrifice I made wasn't just feeding it, growing it, until one day there was no line left between the devourer and the fool who summoned it. They'll say I'm cursed, that my magic turned against me. But the truth is simpler. You can't fight fire forever without becoming part of it. I wander now, through hollow kingdoms, where ghosts build cities from memory, through forests that whisper in voices I once knew. Sometimes they speak my name, not as a warning, but as a prayer. They think I can still save them. I can't even save myself. I've forgotten how many years it's been. The stars change, the moons fade, and yet the flame inside me burns the same. I've tried to put it out, buried myself in oceans, in ice, in shadow, but it always returns. It wants to return. The other night I saw her again, the woman from before the fire. Her hair smelled of lavender and rain. She said my name, softly, and when I reached for her, she turned to cinder. That's when I realized it wasn't her I missed. It was being human. Magic is hunger. It devours what makes you whole. And when it's done, it leaves you hollow. So the only thing you can fill yourself with is more magic. That's the circle. That's the curse. The dragon understands this. That's why it doesn't speak. It doesn't need to. We are one voice now. One thought. one endless flame. I know what must come next. Not victory, not peace, just understanding. I will climb the mountain one last time, to the place where the worlds split open, where my hands first touched the forbidden fire. And when I find the dragon, I will not raise my staff. I will kneel, because the only way to end the fire is to return to it. Maybe the world will begin again. Maybe it will remember me as a villain. Maybe it won't remember me at all. That's fine. All I ever wanted was to understand. And now I do. You don't kill fire. You become it. So if anyone finds this, if the ashes ever speak my name, tell them this: I was never a hero. I was a man who mistook destruction for destiny. And in the end, the dragon and I were never enemies. We were the same dream, burning at both ends. Ash and ember, forever bound. If you've made it this far into the flame, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the dark, the myth, the madness, the fire, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and step a little deeper into the world we're building. There are more stories waiting in the ashes, more voices in the dark. Until next time, be safe, and don't forget to keep the fire burning.